slobody, demokracie, rovnosti, právneho štátu.
Ruskej invázie na Ukrajinu.
And night before the full-scale invasion started, I did my first protest in front of Russian embassy. And after we finished this protest, we went home and we wake up like really early in the morning to reading the news about Ukraine. And since then, I am just thinking and I'm hoping for victory of Ukraine, because Russia is trying to like attack whole Europe as it is, like change the democratic like movements what happened in 90s, and they're trying to take over like all countries and all the nations. So Ukraine was the first strategic move for them. It's really like someone has to like really underestimate Russia when they are thinking that Ukraine will be the only country they are trying to take. I'm Marian, okay, friends call me Majo, and I'm activist in Slovakia, but all my life I was doing for IT company. I started as IT specialist, traveling a lot around the world, implementing software, but last 10 years, 15 years I'm more in managing positions. And like I never planned to be activist and do some like protest and something like that, but because I since 2014 I feel and see what's going on East, okay, and everything with Russia. I feel that everyone has to stand up and fight for the freedom, because the battlefield is now in Ukraine, but this is like a global problem. I started like initiative Mier Ukrajine. This is Peace for Ukraine. Now I would call this initiative Victory for Ukraine, because the victory is what we are fighting for. Mier Ukraine, and we are using, and this description was like made at beginning. Za našu and vašu slobodu. It's the sign like for your and our freedom, okay? And this sign was used Russia in Moscow during the occupation in Slovakia in 1968, okay? So there were 8 people protesting in Russia, and they used this sign for za našu a vašu slobodu. This is the famous sign. Russia is a terrorist state. It's a little bit used because I used it last time, so. It's 42 years old car, so. And I find it very useful because it's camper van, so you can sleep everywhere. I have heating there, I can cook, okay? I have fridge, so since then I was traveling a lot around Europe. I went to Africa, to Morocco, to Sahara Desert on this car. And my first trip was to Ukraine, okay? So to Odessa, Lviv, Crimea, and so on, so Crimea. But since the full-scale invasion, I completely don't have time for it. So it's really, I'm just keeping it running because I need this car for protest and everything, but it needs a lot of time. So I'm really hoping the victory will come and I will be able to focus on my car. After full-scale invasion started, the people were shocked in Slovakia, and we were doing protests every week. We started with the march from President Plaza in Slovakia in front of Ukrainian embassy, and this protest was really strong. It was few thousand people. It was all like democratic people from Bratislava and from around who came to support it. Okay, it was first day, so everyone was in the shock. Then we started making like protests every week. And it was like every week it was more than 10,000, 15,000 people coming to the square here in city center.
Ukrajinský traktor, ich prišiel pozdraviť.
A symbol of our initiative from beginning was a Ukrainian tractor, because we made this symbol in front of Russian embassy. We came there with the Ukrainian tractor and with the big flags, and the tractor was standing there for 2 months, and we were showing that even simple Ukrainian people are fighting this war, because Russian propaganda was really trying to tell that there is a regime in Kiev, Kievsky regime, who is like fighting Russia, but people wants to be part of the Russia. But we were showing by this tractor as that even Ukrainian people are fighting and towing away the Russian tanks and so on. And we came there with our tractor to take away Russians agents, like Russian diplomats from embassy. In that time, everyone wants to help Ukrainian refugees. So most of the NGOs run to the Ukrainian borders. They were trying to help Ukraine with humanitarian and so on. I was giving myself question what we should do. Should we go and help Ukrainian refugees and so on? In that time, I decided that we have to fight this war, that we have to help Ukraine fight. In case Ukraine will win, we will not be able to help Ukrainian refugees. Okay, so in that time, I decided that we have to do protests to ask our institutions and government to support Ukraine.
Ukrajinci sú Európania. Vladimír Putin napadol všetkých nás, preto sa musíme brániť. Od prvého dňa invázie všetci Európania sme povstali a musíme bojovať za našu slobodu.
We were doing protests, but also we were trying to negotiate with our government. Okay, we were pushing them. So Slovakia delivered the first air defense system into Ukraine. Even we didn't have many air defense system, but it was at least first, and it was really important signal, because then other nations decided that it's okay to deliver air defense system to Ukraine. Also, Slovakia in the time managed to deliver our fighting jets, and it was again strong signal, because before that all the Western nations were afraid that how the war will escalate. But after that, it was delivered to Ukraine as well. And we decided that we will make collection of the fundraising for the machine for demining. And we made first big collection of the money, 650,000 euros for this machine and for the equipment, all the equipment around it, for the training of the people and so on. So that was the our first bigger fundraising. And then after Fico government took over, I was really thinking how we can do something against his message that he will not deliver any bullet to Ukraine. It was more people talking, and we were discussing it for a few months, and we came with the idea. By coincidence, also from other people came this idea, and we were part of the campaign Ammunition for Ukraine, Munícia pre Ukrajinu, and we collected 4 million euros in few weeks. First days we were collecting €500,000 every day. For this money we purchased ammunition, and this ammunition was delivered to the Ukraine. Right now we are going to continue with this fundraising. We are going to kick off a second campaign in Ukraine next week. For sure, Russia will not stop. Okay, they have more victories. They will have more power to attack any other country, because they will take all the resources from Ukraine as well. And also they will have much more motivation, because they will feel like victory happened to them. Most likely they will attack all the other countries which were part of the Soviet Union, Moldova, okay, thanks to Transnistria, which is occupied for already since 90s, and Baltic countries, because they don't have any geographical barriers or mountains between Belarus and something like that. So it will be very easy for them to attack such countries. But I think Russia will do also attack through this hybrid war. They will try to take over countries through the proxy governments which will be corrupted and dedicated only for Russian influence. We see this pattern in Slovakia already. Since election last year, our government is telling messages which Russian propaganda is spreading already for many years. And they're advocate of the Russia inside of European Union and NATO. They're doing everything for Russia to succeed, trying to lift the sanctions. They're telling that sanctions are not working. Now, our prime minister is fighting for Russian companies to sell gas and all the fossil oils. Our government, for example, now is working for Russia. So that's how all other nations could be attacked as well. Russia will be looking for easy victories. So in case the government will collaborate with them and it will be some kind of movement against it, like it was in Ukraine on Maidan. They can come here with the army and try to protect it in the Russian way, okay, so occupy it. When Mr. Fico became in power, I was really hopeless and I decided to go to Ukraine to search for the solution how to fight Russian information war. So I went to Kyiv and I was trying to connect with NGOs and talking to people, and I really wanted to find solution for it. After many discussions and so on, I realized that in case our government will not fight it, we are not able to win it, okay? We just can slow it down. But I was really motivated to find solution in Ukraine. I came back and we started thinking about making a huge collection of the money for ammunition for army, because when I came back from Ukraine, I understood that future of our country will be decided in the battlefields in Ukraine. In case Ukraine will be successful in fighting Russia, situation in Slovakia will improve as well, because Russia will lose power, our government, and on information hybrid war. So that was my first visit of Ukraine after full-scale invasion. And then I visited Ukraine also in January last year. Slovak biggest festival Pohoda organized a small event in the Club Atlas in Kyiv. We went there with the bus of musicians, and it was a strong message to show solidarity with the Ukraine. And also owner of this festival is really helping Ukrainian artists and musicians and so on go over this time during the war, because they cannot do festivals, concerts in Ukraine. It was really strong emotionally connection with Ukraine as well. Now we are going to Ukraine because our parliamentarian from Slovakia, from coalition of Mr. Fico, decided to go to Russia's Duma. And we would like to show that even when our government is connected with Russia, we as Slovak citizens are standing with Ukraine. So I arranged meeting with the Ukrainian Verkhovna Rada, with the Ukrainian parliament, and we would like to pass the message that even when our government will be in Russia, in the same time we would like to be in Ukraine, standing there with your government, your people, and we would like to kick off a new campaign there. This campaign will be again for ammunition for Ukraine. We would like to stream this to all the Slovak media, and we are taking Slovak journalists, and we would like to make content for audience in Slovakia and show Slovaks, because Slovaks were collecting this money. So we would like to show Slovaks and that the donations were used very in important way, okay, to help Ukraine.
Slovensko stojí na strane Ukrajincov a budeme bojovať, pokiaľ Ukrajinci tento boj nevyhrajú a Vladimír Putin neskončí túto nezmyselnú agresiu voči celému civilizovanému svetu.
Beside my full-time job, I'm trying to build this organization and we are trying to do the political war here in Slovakia for the supporting Ukraine. Because of the strong Russian propaganda and information war in Slovakia, they invest a lot of money in this and our current government supporting Russian propaganda here. This is really unfair fight because we don't have funds, but at least we have to do something and we are trying to show that Slovaks are standing with the Ukrainians because the population is divided 50% who is following Russian propaganda. They are really strong about it and they are really aggressive against like people who has different opinion. Our prime minister is making a lot of messages and radicalizing people, so they're afraid that people will like scream on them on the street or threaten them. Like they want election based on Russian propaganda. So they just follow the Russian propaganda. It means that they will end up the war very fast because the war is done by West. In Ukraine, they were spreading like news that they are able to negotiate peace for Ukraine. Okay, they didn't talk about what condition, but they just want to make peace very fast. And they were like making like promises that everything will be stabilized after like they got in power because they will resolve all the issue very fast. Of course, it was all lies, but they are like spreading all this news of Russian propaganda here and quick solutions which are not like normal. And also like they were like telling that they will not support Ukraine fighting for like freedom because our like prime minister was telling that he will not send any like bullet to Ukraine. Okay, that was his claim. And even when we are using like Ukrainian flags on our like protest to show solidarity with Ukraine, but many Ukrainians living in Slovakia are afraid and they're like complaining on social media for like they're putting messages for other Ukrainians that they should not attend our like meetings because they're afraid what will happen to them. But Slovaks who are supporting Ukraine are not afraid to show Ukrainian flag. This is really like a symbol for us of like solidarity with Ukraine, but also about your like heroism and about the things that you are not afraid to stand up against your government against Russia and so on. I have fled in city center of Bratislava and of course like my first thing was that I put a big flag from like my window. My neighbors started to be fear because in Slovakia when you show the flag of Ukraine, people who are following the Russian propaganda are really aggressive or could be aggressive. So my neighbors were really against it and we had few like exchange of the information, but we agreed that I will show this flag only on anniversary. So when there is like a day of independence Ukraine or on 24 February, I'm putting this flag on facade of my building on my balcony. But my neighbors are really worried. And that's not that they are not supporting Ukraine, but they are like worried that someone will attack us or do some damage to the windows or whatever. This is Russian embassy and we park our tractor here in front, okay, and all the protests first year we were like organizing in this space, okay, on the street. So I just wanted to show you. And we were also like doing this fire here and like sleeping overnight, like solidarity with Ukraine because like we wanted to make it emotional strong for Russian to understand, but they don't understand anything. So now I'm they just understand the power. So then we organize protest inside of Bratislava, and we use this narrative Bratislava It's name of our capital. But when you look at Slava Ukraine, it means Slava Ukraine. So it was ever narrative what we use for these protests. This picture is from the protest on Slavin. Slavin is the hill here in Slovakia, very cemetery, army cemetery from Second World War. After liberation of Bratislava in 1445, this cemetery was built. But for Russian propaganda, is really strong symbol of Russia in Slovakia. Okay, so even Russian embassy thinks that it's their territory. And on the 9th of May, we made date of like victims of racism. Racism is the term that Russian fascism, and we made whole this like area with Ukrainian flags, Ukrainian flowers you see, and we made all even there to not allow Russian go there. Whole day we were reading the names of the soldiers which fell in Ukraine. So this event was going on from morning till night. So they are coming here and they are doing a lot of happening and so on. And for them it was really like they were really unhappy when we on the May 9th make event here because we occupied all the territory, so they were not able to come here. So even Russian embassy like representative came here and they saw Ukrainian flags everywhere. We were like reading these names of the killed soldiers here for a whole day. Okay, we have Ukrainian flowers like blue and yellow, and everything was like completely occupied by Ukraine, you know. So it was first anniversary, like first month. In first May after they started full-scale invasion. So I'm working for a global software company. We are making software using analytical tools, and our software is used in marketing campaigns. So this is giving me some kind of expertise how the information war is working, because information war is actually marketing tools, analytical tools used to sell the fear or the emotions to the people. So maybe thanks to this knowledge, I understand how marketing campaign is built. So in case, for example, you like red cars, the analytical tools will connect you with the people who likes red cars. It calls segmentation, and they will offer you red cars on the social media through the tools on the internet. But when you apply this technology on the fear or emotions, it's working same way, but it's radicalizing people and changing their, we call it cognitive map inside of their head. So their understanding on the world and the way how they react to information, it's completely different. How people who are able to not follow this information war, see the world. Okay, so this is I think what we are fighting now globally. I think this is mankind challenge now, because also in USA it's happening. Okay, they are using Trump was using emotions, and same strategy as Russia is using. We call it strategic communication, and this is communication, positive communication, and it has to be very strong. But it's a very difficult fight when you don't have enough resources or you are not using really same technique. But it's the part of the war. Okay, and I see it in Slovakia. Our government should protect Slovakia. Propaganda is propaganding bad things. But strategic communication should be positive and should promote good things about, for example, world around us. For example, for Slovak citizen, it was never so good in Slovakia economically, from safety point of view, while we are in NATO and in European Union. But still, like Slovaks who are following Russian propaganda, they are against NATO, against European Union, against all the foreign investments. We call it strategic communication, that people has to understand what European Union is giving us. Or in all investment in Slovakia are coming from European Union, okay? And still there are like people who are believing Russian propaganda, they are complaining about European Union and they want to go out from European Union and so on. So it's really like, it must be connected with the emotions because logically it doesn't make sense. What do I think why this war like started? Yes, after like Maidan revolution, when Ukraine became like really independent, I saw big opportunity for Russia to be independent as well, because I understood that Russia and Ukraine had a lot of connections, family connection and so on. And I was really hoping that it will end up in the fall down of the Putin regime, but opposite happened, okay? And now I think like Russians are, they don't like when the neighbors are doing well. Ukraine did a lot of reforms, and like I think the life and everything become much better than in Russia. And instead, the Russians will take this as opportunity for their change. They don't like when the neighbors are doing good, and they want to destroy it. So it's really like strange about this nation, and I'm really hopeless that Russian can change since what happened in Ukraine, and we saw all the aggression what they are doing. And politically, like of course Putin's regime has to grow, okay? In case he wants to keep in power all the time, when he doesn't have like good control over the country. He started some war somewhere like Chechnya, Georgia, and so on. I visited Transnistria, for example, in Moldavia, and we see these like patterns everywhere. And so he did similar things to Ukraine. It's really difficult to understand from people in Europe what's going on. Everyone was shocked, okay? But I think Ukrainians understand this, and it's shock for us because we don't understand this feeling inside of Russian that they want to destroy everything what is better than them. Instead, they don't want to work on themselves, but instead of that, they are destroying and putting destruction everywhere. So I think this is the reason why they attack Ukraine, because they don't want anyone to be better than them, or in case something is successful, like for example European Union project is successful and European Union managed to connect different nations together in a very good way. So they don't like this, they don't understand it, because everything what is like for them, how they manage things, it's just by power, okay, by strong power or by arms or whatever. So that's why I think they're not compatible with us. And the only resolution of this issue, it's victory about Russia. We are not able to find any compromise with Russia, because even like negotiations, they are not going to negotiate. We have to defeat Russia, and that's the only possible solution for all these like problems. If I would have power, I would think about this war against Ukraine as war against us, and I would deliver all the necessary things for Ukraine to win this war. We have to show Putin that we have enough power, enough strength, and enough will to win this war. It's not possible to negotiate with Putin, so we have to fight Russia. So we have to be much stronger in the sanctions. We have to be much stronger in investigating all the money which are going to Russia and are supporting this war, because I think Russia can be defeated quite easily economically, and also like we have armies, we have like equipment and so on, and this equipment is like standing here in Europe, but it should be used very at one point in Ukraine and help Ukraine to win the war. I think Russia already thinks that we are fighting with them. It's nothing like what to wait for. Russia will be stronger and stronger. Their whole economy it's just producing things for the army, and they are putting all the money to this war. I don't understand this the situation, what we are waiting for, because in case Putin will take over Ukraine, he will continue. So it's quite clear that we will need to fight. Every nation has to fight Russia. So we should do it right now very quickly, and it could be much less painful for everyone, especially for Ukraine. When I were there, I realized this is huge difference between Russia and Ukraine. And people in Ukraine are very open, very nice. They are helpful. They are trying to find solution for you. In case you have troubles, they will not let you down. Okay, and I was traveling to Lviv, okay, Odessa, even like I traveled to Crimea. Crimea was still part of the Ukraine at the time, like. It was not occupied, I mean. So in 2012, I visited Ukraine first time, and it was really strong emotion for me. And since then, I was really like a fan of Ukraine, because I understood like what was Orange Revolution about, and when the Maidan started, I was really excited. Every day I woke up and I checked the news. I was really with Ukraine, and I was really hoping it will like bring freedom for Ukraine.